I mean, we could even, not right now, but we could even just try with the projector, just projecting on the bricks and kind of see what, yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Testing, 1, 2, 3, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing. Great. There we go. There we go. Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Unity Spiritual Center of Windsor. And it's so good to see those of you that we haven't seen in a while. And I'm delighted that I'm able to be back here, that we're able to be back here and meet together again. So anyway, welcome. Just really glad to have you here.
So I'd like to welcome everyone as well. Thank you for being here today. I also want to welcome those who are joining us online, and a special welcome to the Unity York region who are joining us virtually. My name is Joanne McGuire.
So the one thing that I've missed since we started coming back is not being able to just give everybody a big hug. So anyway, I'm just giving you a big virtual hug right now, okay? Just take it. I'm sending you lots of love there. And we are indeed so happy to have the Unity York region joining us today. We do want you to, we hope you can join us today online at our conversations with the speaker, which will begin at 12:30. And so we do have the ability to sort of project you on the screen here and have you get involved in our discussions that we have after the talk. So that'll be at 12 o'clock, and we would love to have you join us.
So I want you to know we are committed to offering a safe environment. We are following all the recommendations and guidelines established by the Windsor-Essex County Board of Health. That means masks are required to be worn correctly while inside. There are directional arrows are placed in the aisles for traffic flow. Seating signs have been placed in the pews for maintaining 2-meter physical distancing. You may sit next to the people you have come here with. And in the community room after the service, there's going to be refreshments served, and after the service, and masks can be removed to eat and drink, but please maintain a 2-meter physical distancing from those that you did not arrive with.
And today, we do have our prayer chaplain available with you today, and our prayer chaplain today is Tim Eckert. Tim, can you just right over here? There's Tim. He would love to pray with you. If you would like to have prayer after the service, just go up to him afterwards and introduce yourself, and he would be happy to pray with you. And again, we have a wonderful prayer chaplain team here, and we will continue to hold you in prayer throughout this month. If you just will put a request in there, a prayer request.
Here's our prayer box right here.
Right there.
And then you can get slips in the foyer, and then you just put your request down and then insert it into this box right here. Also, I want to remind you that we have a 24/7 online prayer support through Silent Unity. And the phone number is up here. It's 1-816-969-2000.
So at this time, let us open in prayer. So I invite you to just take a moment to bring your attention to this place and this time. And I invite you to just let go of any thoughts that you've had about what is going to be going on later on today or what happened before you got here. So we're here to open our hearts and open our minds to the presence of Spirit. Spirit that we live and move and have our being in. So we open our hearts right now and acknowledge the fact that we are one with Spirit, one with each other, and one with all of life. And we take a moment to just allow ourselves to feel gratitude. Gratitude for this day. Gratitude for our spiritual center here and our ability to meet again together. And gratitude for the wonders of Zoom and the ability to actually reach out to others that are away from us, but we can still connect with online. And we are so grateful for that. So we open our hearts fully and completely and make ourselves ready for the blessings that are here for us today, and make ourselves open and receptive to the guidance of Spirit that's always here for us. And in this sense of gratitude, we pray this in the name of the living Christ presence. And so it is. Amen. Well, we've got some music, and I am so happy to have Mike Karloff, my musical director here today, and Angelica Shaka is here doing our vocals, and then we have Judy Ollingham over here doing our bass, and we're so happy to have them. So Mike, what do we have today?
So I don't know if you've been noticing, but in the last several weeks we've been pulling out some of the old songs that we know and love and haven't heard for a while since before this all began. But also every week my goal is to introduce a new song. So this is a new song. Maybe you've heard it. It's new to me. It's new to us, I think. It's called Gathering in Song, and it's by Fred Bogert and Sue Riley. And please stand up and join us. Gathering in Song.
We are gathering in song, welcoming the oneness, opening the doors of spirit wide. We are walking into light, starting out together on a journey through the miracles inside. There is a promise in our fellowship. This is a place we all belong. We place our trust in this great holiness. This is the moment, come along. We are gathering in song, welcoming the oneness, opening the doors of spirit wide. We are walking into light, starting out together on a journey through the miracles inside. There is a promise in our thankfulness. We know as when we seek we find. We place our trust in this great holiness. This is the mountain, yours and mine. We are gathering in song, welcoming the oneness, opening the doors of spirit wide. We are walking into light, starting out together on a journey through the miracles inside. We are gathering in song, welcoming the oneness, opening the doors of spirit wide. We are walking into light, starting out together on a journey through the miracles inside. On a journey through the miracles inside.
You may all be seated. Thank you so much for that. I like the new song. It's very uplifting. It's a nice way to start the day.
You know, Joanne, I felt the first time I discovered unity in Austin, Texas, back in 1983 is when I first. Oh, is it? There we go. Okay. Anyway, so I remember that first time that I discovered unity, and a friend of mine that I had met, invited me to come, and I had really been staying out of churches for like 15 years, and so he invited me, and so I came, and I remember just sitting in the back seat of the church and just literally crying. I mean, I just cried because I felt so much at home. And what was your experience of unity?
I had a similar experience. So I've been a longtime member of Unity since 1977. I was a young widow, and I had 2 small children, and I felt really lost in the world. And a friend of mine introduced me to Unity. And I started going because they were doing, this was in Detroit, Michigan, and they were doing more instructional stuff on Wednesday evenings. They just had classes then. And I just really got in touch with the classes and really felt, you know, like just getting new information about a different way of looking at things, which really was important for me at that time. And so then, too, I attended a service finally, and they were singing the Our Father. They did that back in those days. And I just started crying. It was just like so moving. And, you know, I'd gone to other churches and sang the Our Father, but I never had that quite experience. So it just really resonated well with me. And so I've been in and out and very much involved with Unity all through the years. I got so many books and things like that. And then I found out about Unity here, and I started coming. And it's just made a huge difference, too, because my consciousness is very different than it was in 1977. So I just see things in such a different way. What I really like now about what we're doing here is I really like the 12 powers. And I really like that we take a month at a time to look at each of the powers and discuss them and have conversations with the minister and things like that. And I just find that that's really helpful in terms of just deepening the whole experience with Unity.
Thank you, Joanne. Thank you. You know, when we think of home, we think of a place where we're safe, a place that we're safe to explore and express ourselves, where we're encouraged to live our dreams, where we are supported in becoming all that we're meant to be in the world, and where we're loved unconditionally. And that's what I felt when I first discovered Unity. And so it's our intention to provide such a place for everyone who comes to be a part of this community. And we consider this to be our spiritual home, and we welcome you, if you're a newcomer, in hopes that you too will feel right at home and make this your spiritual home.
Can I add one more thing?
Sure.
One of the best unexpected outcomes of attending Unity was that I met my second husband here. And we've been married for 41 years. So thank you.
41 years, that's good. Okay, we have an affirmation for this month.
We do, and it's, I ignite my zeal by focusing on what brings me joy. So can you all repeat that with me, please?
I ignite my zeal by focusing on what brings me joy.
And so it is.
Okay. Well, I think we have some more music.
And with that in mind, let's stand and sing, I Sing with Joy.
I sing with joy, now I can see I'm here to love, I'm here to be happy and free all my life long. I'm here to sing my song. Now I remember, it seems familiar, could I forget for so long? I can remember the words and the music, love is the name of the song. I sing with joy, now I can see I'm here to love, I'm here to be happy and free all my life long. I'm here to sing my song. I see the light now, everything's right now. Life is a wonderful thing. Beauty around me and love that astounds me. Love is the song I sing. I sing with joy, now I can see I'm here to love, I'm here to be happy and free all my life long. I'm here to sing my song.
One more time.
I sing with joy, now I can see
And we've got one more, an old favorite, an older Richard McDeachy song, God Is.
In the morning when I rise.
In the morning when I rise.
And before I close my eyes.
And before I close my eyes.
Anytime I'm in despair.
I'm in despair.
I just speak this little prayer.
I just speak this little prayer.
God's light surrounds me. God's love enfolds me. God's power protects me. The presence of God watches over me. Wherever I am, God is. When the cold winds start to blow.
When the cold winds start to blow.
And they beat upon your door.
And they beat upon your door.
Every night will have its dawn.
Every night will have its dawn.
Hold this thought as you hold on.
Hold this thought as you hold on.
God's light surrounds you. God's love enfolds you. God's power protects you. The presence of God watches over you. Wherever you are, God is. We all hear the Spirit call.
We all hear the Spirit call.
It's a small world after all.
It's a small world after all.
Bound together in and through.
Bound together in and through.
This one common simple truth.
This one common simple truth.
God's light surrounds us. God's light enfolds us. God's power protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. God's light surrounds us. God's love enfolds us. God's power protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. And all is well.
Thank you so much. That was very enjoyable. Thank you. Well, good morning again. And I am so glad to be here with you. You know, each year, Unity comes up with a theme. And the theme for this year has been how to stay centered no matter what. 12 tools for achieving inner peace in a chaotic world. And I think that was a rather serendipitous theme for this year for myself. You know, when we feel our inner peace persistently challenged, Unity offers an answer. Unity teachings include the awareness of our own innate power by virtue of our oneness with Spirit. At the heart of our Unity message is the fact that we're not human beings having a spiritual experience. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. And which perspective that you choose to navigate your life around in this earthly experience, well, which one you choose has a huge impact on how we live our life and experience our life. So these 12 tools for achieving inner peace, which we've been studying for all this year, are the 12 powers of man that Charles Fillmore explored almost 100 years ago in his book by the same name, The 12 Powers of Man. So Fillmore described these 12 powers as divine ideas, abilities or faculties that he believed formed the basis of our Christ consciousness. And they reside within each and every one of us as our divine potential. You could think of them as our spiritual DNA, if you wish. You know, recently, I have this huge oak tree at home, and recently it dropped acorns. I mean, hundreds of acorns. I mean, they were all over the place. It kept the squirrels very busy and very happy. And it kept my dogs happy too. They love acorns. I think that they were out there fighting off the squirrels for the acorns. But anyway, you know, just as within that little acorn is the potential for another huge oak tree in that little acorn. And within each and every one of us, we have the potential to be the Christ. We have the potential to be the light of the world that we were meant to be. You know, Jesus, when he came to earth, he said, I am the light of the world. But then in another place, he told us that you are the light of the world. You are the light of the world. You are the light of the world. You know, he was doing all of these miracles, and he said, see all these things that I'm doing? He said, you can do them too. And he said, even greater things than these things that I'm doing, you can do. Because Jesus understood that we are all divine beings having a human experience. So we are each born with the attributes of the infinite. And our life work is first to recognize those attributes, and then through our spiritual practices of prayer and meditation, we can then develop them. We can then express these powers that lie in potential within each and every one of us. So each of these divine faculties that we have been studying this year are ways to view the world and to stay centered no matter what comes our way. And the more we develop these faculties that we've been exploring, the closer we are to expressing the Christ, our true being, our divine nature. So the more we can align with this potential, this pattern that lies within each and every one of us, the more we become and express the Christ that we are in potential. And how do we develop them? By using them, by putting them to work in our life. It's just like any other talent. If you want to be a master at the piano, you have to practice the piano. You have to practice. So if you want to increase these spiritual faculties that we have been exploring, we have to put them to work in our life by using them. So each month this year we have taken each 1 month to explore one of the powers. And so far we have explored the powers of wisdom, love, strength, faith, imagination, power, understanding, will, and order. And today, or this month, we are exploring the power of zeal. And next November, next month, we'll be exploring the power of release. And then in December, we will end this series by exploring the power of life itself. So this month, our subject is zeal. And we're exploring the power of zeal. The power to be enthusiastic, the power to be passionate, the power that inspires us. The power that motivates us and excites us. And it's our passion for life that we're looking at. It's the divine engine that drives us. It's our get up and go. And you know, I can't help but feel that in this zeal and enthusiasm and passion that we've been exploring this month, there's joy. I feel the joy in this enthusiasm. I feel the joy in this passion that dwells up and wells up in me when I talk about passion. You know, Charles Fillmore, at the age of 94, he wrote this affirmation, and if you were here last week, we said it together. And could you move that? Yes, this right there. Okay, so he wrote this at 94, and he said, "I fairly sizzle with zeal and enthusiasm as I spring forth with a mighty faith to do the things that I ought to do." Can you feel the power in that? Will you repeat that with me, and repeat it with me with enthusiasm, okay? I fairly sizzle with zeal and enthusiasm as I spring forth with a mighty faith to do the things that ought to be done by me. Done by me. Oh, you felt that, didn't you? I felt it. So, you know, just a little recap. This past few weeks, as we looked at the power of our power of zeal, we looked at Bill and Cher Holton's book, Power Up Your Life, as well. This is a contemporary look at Charles Fillmore's The 12 Powers. And, you know, they pointed out that the power of the universe is in our blood, in our veins. I mean, we're all made up of cells, hundreds of thousands of cells, and each one of those are made of atoms. And atoms are just pure energy. So they pointed out and said that we are hardwired to sizzle and not fizzle. And I thoroughly agree with that. So no matter, you know, we also looked at it, no matter where you are in your life, we have the ability to renew old passions. We have the ability to develop new passions, things that we are really, truly interested in. There's a slide that's, next slide, that says, zeal is like fire. It needs both feeding and watching. This is an old English proverb that zeal is like fire. And it is. Zeal is something that we have to feed. Zeal is something we have to feed with our interest. And if you want to develop a passion for something, then you have to spend time with it. You have to study it. You have to look at it. You have to practice it. You have to really get into it. And as you get into it, and the more you get into it, you are feeding your zeal. And it also is something that we have to watch. Because all of our powers, and especially zeal, needs to be tempered by wisdom. All of our powers are meant to work together, and they support each other, and they work together as a team. You know, what I love about zeal is I sort of look at zeal as a master key of all the powers. Because with your zeal, you can really get into exploring your other spiritual faculties, your other abilities, your other powers. It's through zeal and our eagerness to really study our spirituality and to learn more about spirituality and to learn more about our 12 powers. It's zeal and our passion. That power alone is the one that really helps us get into our becoming the best Christ that we can be. Like I mentioned last week, I feel so blessed. Zeal is my favorite power. Can you tell? I mean, it really just, I start talking about something that I really enjoy, and it just sort of starts bubbling up in me. And that's what zeal is all about, is getting you excited to live your life the way you want to live your life. I've had so many things that I've really been passionate about in my life. And then I was just making a list. Growing up, I loved reading. Oh my gosh. Reading as a child was one of my passions. I learned so much. When I was a little child, there wasn't all that much on television. There really wasn't, which is a good thing probably, okay? Because I read a lot. And that reading has just carried on. Whatever I got interested in learning, the reading just carried on with that. I got interested in cooking, as I mentioned last week. I started buying cookbooks because I was interested in cooking, and I got a little carried away. Like I said, right now I think I have over 1,000 cookbooks. So, but it was something that I was interested in. Just looking at the things, you can get interested in all sorts of things. I never thought I would be interested. Well, I thought I was a klutz. That's what I thought I was. So dancing was not something that I thought I would get into. But my wife, we were married for almost 29 years. She wanted to dance. She loved to dance. And by golly, I learned to love to dance. And we started going out and joined the West Coast Swing Club in Tucson, Arizona. And we were going out dancing 3 nights a week at least, you know? What wonderful fun. There was a club somewhere where the huge West Coast Swing Dance Club was meeting, and we would go out there and we would just go dancing. That was so much fun. And then as you get older especially, I don't know, my spirituality and learning about spirituality and learning and trying to understand this whole concept called God. I mean, I got so involved in that. And as from a little boy, I grew up in Sunday school, so I was very interested in spirituality. But I grew. My mind, my consciousness, it grew. And I outgrew the God of my childhood. The God of my childhood became too small for me. And I started reading about other religions and seeing the beauty in their scriptures, the Hindu scriptures, the Buddhist scriptures. Then in college, I started getting involved in quantum physics. And I saw in quantum physics how quantum physics was sort of saying the same thing that the great spiritual masters were telling us, that we're all connected. It's just one beautiful power that connects all of us. We are one with that. And Charles Fillmore, bless his heart, he was a mystic through and through. He felt that oneness. His enthusiasm. I mean, he's the one that wrote that affirmation that I just love and that we just spoke. But he got so involved. He was a very successful real estate person, agent. He made a lot of money in real estate, but he got so impassioned by trying to learn how in the heck his wife got healed, and what caused her to be healed. What was this faith that they were talking about? What did prayer have to do with the healing of his wife. So he got so enthused and involved with spirituality that he and his wife Myrtle ended up creating this huge religious movement, unity. And so it's wonderful you can take a passion and you can make it your entire life. You don't have to. You can have a lot of different passions, but people that find something that they really enjoy doing, they can make it a life, their life career, and thoroughly enjoy it. So last week we did talk a little bit about, we looked at enthusiasm as a emotion. We looked at a book. It was a New York Times bestseller by Henrik Weisinger, or he's known as Hank Weisinger. He's a psychologist. And he wrote a book called Performing Under Pressure, The Science of Doing the Best When It Matters Most. And, he discusses and describes in this book a practice that we can use throughout the day. One that not only reduces feelings of stress, and of exhaustion and pressure, but also makes you and those around you more productive. And it works instantly. And we discussed this last week. And what is it called? Enthusiasm. Enthusiasm. So it's enthusiasm in psychology it's described as an affective state. And an affective state in psychology refers to the experience of feeling the underlying emotional state. Feeling. And how do you feel when you are enthusiastic? How do you feel? Don't you feel energized, okay? Don't you feel excited? I mean, most people say that. So when you are experiencing enthusiasm, you feel this energy, this extra energy. It heightens your arousal. I mean, your breathing rate accelerates, your heart rate accelerates when you are experiencing enthusiasm. And also, with enthusiasm, it's accompanied by a thought. It's accompanied by such thoughts as, I can do this. I can do this. I love this. In unity, we believe that our thoughts create our life experiences. The quality of our thinking creates our life experiences. And so we encourage affirmations like the one that the couple that we've done so far. We encourage affirmations where we declare what the good in our life, declare what we want to see in our life. And if we want to feel enthusiasm, we do an affirmation that acknowledges that enthusiasm that lies within us. So again, enthusiasm is also a behavior. I don't know if you've noticed it or not, but I've been moving my hands and everything, and enthusiasm makes you move around. It engages your body. It engages your facial expressions, your eyes. You can see that. You can see when someone is enthused. So these enthusiastic responses that we see are universal across cultures. And, we understand what a smile looks like. We understand what laughter sounds like. We understand if a person scores a goal in soccer in Brazil, we know that they're going to jump up and clap and everything the same way we do at a college football team when our side scores. So enthusiasm. It communicates excitement. It communicates engagement, and it communicates positivity to everybody throughout the world. And no matter where you are, enthusiasm communicates these things. So last week we did Weisinger said that we can practice. There are things that we can do to help build our enthusiasm. And so just a reminder, some of those things that we could do is we can just move around. I mean, just moving around helps build up the enthusiasm. Smiling, laughing, singing. I mean, how many of you turned on the radio with some good music when you want to lift your spirits? So there are things that we can do. We can practice. And and he also was talking about clapping your hands and doing things like that to really get the energy up. And I remembered this little song that I learned in Sunday school, and some of you may have heard it. And it's if you're happy and you know it. Anybody hear that one? If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, then your life will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, then your life will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your feet. I couldn't help but do that. You've got me enthused, okay? You've got me enthused. All right, so Weisinger spoke of enthusiasm as an emotion. But Julia Cameron, author of The Artist's Way, believes it is much more than that. And this is her quote. She says, enthusiasm is not an emotional state. It's a spiritual commitment, a loving surrender to our creative process. Enthusiasm, from the Greek, filled with God, is an ongoing energy supply tapped into the flow of life itself. And I'm going to repeat that. I love that quote. Julia Cameron, author of The Artist's Way, she says, enthusiasm is not an emotional state. It is a spiritual commitment, a loving surrender to our creative process. Enthusiasm, from the Greek, filled with God, or entheos, is an ongoing energy supply tapped into the flow of life itself. You know, her description of enthusiasm as a spiritual commitment, a loving surrender to our creative process, just really resonated with me. And in truth, you know, this is our spiritual practice. This surrendering to our divine nature, surrendering to that enthusiasm that lies within us, surrendering to all of those spiritual faculties that lie within us. Surrendering to our divine nature. So through our practices of prayer and meditation, and also through our art and our music, and through anything that we do with enthusiasm, a job that we do with love and enthusiasm, we tap into our divinity. We tap into this ongoing energy supply, which is the flow of life itself. It is our true essence. We tap into that true essence. We have the ability to tap into each and every one of our spiritual powers and to bring them forth. So each and every one of us are incredible incarnations, and we're on an incredible journey. Each and every one of us are on our own unique journey. Through your true essence has remained the same throughout your journey. You're a spiritual being, and that part of you remains the same. That part of you never dies. You're a spiritual being. You're immortal. You're alive. You're awake. You're aware. You're conscious. You are pure potential. And please, never forget that. Never forget the truth of who you are. Now, allowing our spiritual essence to shine through us doesn't mean we must ignore our bodies or our minds or our personalities. They are expressions of spirit too. We are both body and spirit. There's a story in Luke 17, verse 20 and 21. This story is also found in the Gospel of Thomas. But it says in Luke 17:20, it says, once Jesus was asked by the Pharisees when the kingdom of God was coming. And he answered, the kingdom of God is not coming with things that can be observed. Nor will they say, look, here it is, or there it is. For in fact, the kingdom of God is within you. The kingdom of God is within you. It's within each and every one of us. There's only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life and in our life. And that one presence and one power, we are one with that one presence and one power. This whole 12 powers of man that Fillmore wrote this whole book about was just acknowledging that the Spirit dwells within each and every one of us, that the kingdom of God is within us. And it is there in all of its manifold manners, in its, all of its different aspects, the spiritual aspects, the different abilities, these 12. There's more than 12, but they all are there within us. All of these beautiful spiritual abilities that as we align with those abilities, as we explore those abilities, as we practice those abilities, then we become the light of the world that we are meant to become. We are the ones that manifest heaven upon earth through our actions, through us connecting with that divinity, that truth of who we are. We are always connected to all of the wisdom that we need. We are always connected to the guidance that we need. It is within us. All the power and all the strength that we need, it is within us. The peace, that peace beyond understanding, it's within us. We have the ability to do whatever it is we choose to do if we can just align with the truth and acknowledge the truth of who we are. So with that, let's go into a meditation. So I do invite you to just relax in your seat and take a couple of deep breaths. And as we take those deep breaths, we allow ourselves to focus on this present moment the only true moment that there is. This moment. And it is only in this present moment that we can truly connect with the truth of who we are, that we can see the light that we are that dwells within us. So take another deep breath. And just know that within us there is all the power, all the strength, all the enthusiasm that we need to go about doing the things that we ought to do. And if there is healing that we feel that we need in any part of our body, that healing is within us. And so we allow ourselves to just bring our thoughts and attention to whatever area that we feel like we need energy in, healing in. And know that the healing light of Spirit is in every cell of your body right now, every cell of your body. And I invite you to feel that energy that is within you. And visualize that energy bringing you the strength that you need right now. Envision that light, that energy that is flowing through every cell of your body. Envision that bringing you the peace that you were looking for, bringing you the guidance and the wisdom that you're looking for. It is within you. And we open our hearts and we open our minds to that wisdom, to that healing light. So we just rest a little while. We're going to rest just a little bit in the silence. And as we rest in the silence, we will just be open and receptive to the energy, to the wisdom, to the healing light of the Spirit within you. So we acknowledge this one presence and one power that we live and we move and we have our being in. And we acknowledge our oneness with it, our oneness with each other, and our oneness with all of life.
And so it is thy perfect pleasure, and so it is thy perfect truth, and so it is within my heart, and so it is, and so it is, and so it is thy perfect pleasure, and so it is thy perfect truth, and so it is within my heart, and so it is, and so it is.
And so it is.
Thank you, Reverend David. Oops. Thank you, Reverend David. I know I had said earlier about my favorite part being about the 12 powers, and you didn't disappoint. I did that course with Paul Hasselbeck on his book Power Up, and it was very enlightening and very helpful, and keep integrating that because it's really powerful stuff. All right, now it's time for our vision and mission statement. And at this time, let us take to heart our vision, mission, and statement of being, which is shown on the screen. We have a global vision. Will you please speak it with me?
Our vision is a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. And we have a sacred mission, and will you say that with me? We inspire and empower spiritual growth to awaken us and transform the world.
And we have a personal statement of being. Will you please say that with me?
I am a dynamic center of the Christ light, mighty to unfold my good and radiate that good to all. So we have many things going on, and if you've been checking our website and checking our newsletter that comes out to you, there's lots of classes and spirit groups that are going on right now. They're all on Zoom for the time being, all on Zoom, so it's easy for you to just log into them. And then I do want to remind you that every Wednesday from 6:30 until about 7:45, we have what we're calling our midweek renewal, and we just get together at 6:30 for some fellowship. It's just a time you can bring your dinner with you and sit down, and we can just talk together and have a one-on-one, and then we have spend some time in prayer and meditation. So you please join us on Wednesdays from 6:30 until 7:45.
Unity Canada has an online conference this coming Friday, October 23rd to Sunday the 24th. Or I should say from Friday, October 22nd to Sunday, October 24th. And grant money is available if you'd like to participate.
And I do so encourage you to think about joining. They have some wonderful workshops and classes and speakers. And anyway, again, we can reimburse you for the expense of the convention.
Okay. Please join us next Sunday when our guest speaker will be Sue Jeanette. Many of you already know who she is. She has been a popular speaker and teacher at the Unity Center for 18 years, and she is eager to share what she has learned that will support, encourage, and uplift you on your evolving path. Her talk title is Finding Our Way. Following her talk, she will facilitate conversations with the speaker on Zoom. Now, all this information and more can be found on our weekly newsletter. and on our Unity Spiritual Center on website.
Okay. And we do thank you so much. It's your generous donations that have continued to support us through this whole pandemic. And so we do thank you for your continued support. And as you know, all of our classes, all of our programs are made possible by you. So thank you.
We've created many easy ways to donate, which you can find on our website. For those of you here today at our live service, for safety concerns, we will not be passing a basket, but we will be offering you an opportunity to make your donation. We have a love offering box near the front of the door by the foyer. And there's pens there and offering envelopes. You can just fill that out and then drop it in the box when you leave the chapel. And again, thank you and bless you for your loving, generous support.
And so as we come near to close here, just again, thank you for coming out today. We appreciate it. We see you. We're really glad to see each and every one of you.
Before we close with a short prayer of gratitude and our prayer for protection, I want to remind you that today's prayer chaplain is available, that's Tim, for prayer directly after the service here in the chapel. You can please join us for refreshments and fellowship in the community room behind the chapel after service, and remember to be aware of the proper social distancing.
And so at 12 o'clock, we will be meeting here for conversations with the speaker, and we're going to be inviting Unity York Region to join us, and we'll be able to put them on the screen. We'll be able to see them, but they'll be able to interact with us. So I do invite you to join us here at 12 o'clock right over here. Okay?
We also invite you now to stand up. And let's open our hearts and minds in gratitude as we close by speaking out loud or silently to yourself the love offering prayer, followed by the prayer of protection. Divine love in me and through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And let me say the first part of the prayer for protection, and then you follow with the second part. The light of God surrounds us. I am light.
The love of God enfolds us.
I am love.
The power of God protects us.
I am power.
The presence of God watches over us.
I am presence.
Wherever we are, God is. I am divine. And my friends, you are. Thank you.